Hey friends, my name is Shereé and welcome to Shereé's Booked. On this channel, I hope to share all book-related content, whether it be hauls, shopping vlogs, or book reviews. I want to be able to put all of that here on this channel. Now, I'm not new to YouTube. I actually have another YouTube channel that I've had for about 9 years that focuses on DIY fashion, sewing, crafting, and beauty. But I wanted to have a separate channel that I could just talk about books on. So that is why this channel was created. And I thank you so much for stopping on this video. For today's video, the second video that I've posted on this channel, I'm going to be sharing with you all of the books that I picked up over the last couple of months. I haven't gotten around to reading them yet, but now it's time for me to start reading them. So I thought I better film this video before I crack any of these open. I've separated them into 4 categories and I can't wait to share them with you. So I actually have a funny story for one of my hauls because this was like 2 different stores that these books are coming from. I have broken up these books into different categories. They were purchased from 2 different stores, both of which that were having the same sale, buy one, get one, 50% off. So they were an incredible savings and I'm really excited about the selection. Now, the first store that I went to was Barnes & Noble and I learned something new. I didn't know that the online store is treated as a separate entity from the actual brick and mortar store. So I thought whatever deals were happening online are also happening in the store and I was so wrong. Gosh, it was so embarrassing. So I actually was so excited because I got an email promotion about the buy one, get one 50% off. And I was like, score, it's Friday, it's payday. I'm about to go have a little shopping spree on some books. Okay, I was so thrilled. So I actually went to the store, which is in Emeryville, which is probably about a 15-minute drive from where I live. And I get out there, I load up my little cart. I'm walking up to the register and that's when I realized I haven't seen any signs posted about a sale anywhere. So as I'm waiting in this long line to check out, because this particular location closes pretty early. I don't know if all Barnes & Nobles close early, but I want to say they close at like 7:30 or 8 o'clock. And I went after work and I had to fight traffic and all of that to get there. So I was really trying to make sure that I got everything I wanted before they closed. Anyway, I'm in this long line and the whole time I'm sweating. And we get up to the register and I say, I didn't see any signs for this, but I came here because I got an email saying that there was a sale going on, buy one, get one 50% off. And that's when they explained to me that sometimes the promotions that are happening online are not happening in the brick and mortar store. So I have this basket full of books and I'm like, oh my God, I am not about to pay full price for all these books. And so they could tell I was totally embarrassed. And so the person was really, really nice. And she's like, let me see what I can do. And so she got permission to give me the discount. So I got a discount on these books and it was the buy one, get one 50% off. The other store was Target, which often runs this sale. They almost always have their books with the little 20 or 30% off sticker on them. But this time around, not only did they have the sticker, but they also had the buy one, get one 50% off. So I have totally mixed up these books. I can't really remember which books I bought from which stores, but they all were on the same type of deal. So let's get into it. Let's talk about the categories that I've broken these books into. I have my Hispanic author stack and it's mixed with different genres. I have my mystery thriller, I have fantasy, and then lastly I have horror. And there's only 2 books in horror and one of them I think is leaning more fantasy. So let's get into it. So as an Afro-Latina, I realized I did not have enough books written by Hispanic authors and I definitely wanted to change that. And so I got these 4 books here and it's spooky season, right? It's October. So I wanted to make sure that I got some spooky stuff. And I also got one book that is not necessarily spooky, but it does have like a slightly supernatural piece to it. So anyway, let's just talk about the books that I got. The first book in the stack is Mexican Gothic by Sylvia Moreno Garcia. And this book is about a spooky house, I believe. From what I gather, the main character gets an interesting letter from a relative, her cousin, and it's a letter that makes her feel a little bit worried about her cousin. So she goes to visit her cousin, and her cousin has married a white man, and there's something going on in the house and she can't really put her finger on what it is, but then strange supernatural things start happening. And so I think the house is haunted. So I'm really excited to read this. I don't typically like to read books about ghosts just because I believe in ghosts and it spooks me. I have no issue with books that have supernatural creatures, you know, other horror books. But when it comes to demons, devils, and ghosts, I ain't with it. But for this one, I think I'm going to give it a try. I'm going to see how brave I can be and if it is actually spooky. Anyways, I'm looking forward to reading one of my first ghost stories. The next book I'm really excited about because I'm hoping that I can identify with some of the characters. This is Elizabeth Acevedo's Family Lore. It is a novel, and I want you to look at a picture of the author. She's so gorgeous. Look at those curls. Anyways, I'm really excited to read this one, and I can't wait. Apparently, it is about a main character who has a special ability to be able to know when someone is going to die. Like, she has premonitions, and she invites all of her female family to come home and to do a like living wake or something of that nature to celebrate her life. And so they're all freaking out because they are worried that she's trying to tell them that she is going to die. But that's all I know about this book, and there's probably a lot more to it, but it's supposed to be about sisterhood. It's supposed to be about, you know, family. And as a woman that has 7 sisters, I think that I'll be able to really enjoy this book, and I'm very excited to read it. The last 2 books in this category are by Isabel Canes. One is Vampires of El Norte. That's this one here. And the other one is The Hacienda. And this first one, I'm going to read a little bit about it on the back. It says, as the daughter of a rancher in the 1840s Mexico, Nina knows a thing or two about monsters. Her home has long been threatened by the tensions with Anglo settlers from the north. But something more sinister lurks near the ranch at night, something that drains men of their blood and leaves them for dead, something that once attacked Nina 9 years ago. I'm really excited to read this. This sounds like it's going to be a really fun read, and definitely something I can get down with maybe in November. But regardless, it's a short book. I want to say, let's see how many pages it really is. It's very short, 378 pages. So I should be able to knock this out in a couple of days, and I think it'll be really fun. The next book, The Hacienda, says that during the overthrow of the Mexican government, Beatrice's father was executed and her home destroyed. When a handsome Don proposes, Beatrice ignores the rumors surrounding his first wife's sudden demise, choosing instead to seize the security that his estate in the countryside provides. She will have her own home no matter the cost. So this is definitely giving I have a new house and it's haunted vibes. So I'm really excited to read that. The next category is horror, and we're going to start with Stephen King's Night Shift. This is a compilation of short stories, and I'm really excited to read this. I just finished If It Bleeds, and I enjoyed that one, and I'm currently reading The Outsider. But I've read lots of Stephen King over the last couple of months, and I've just been really enjoying all the stories, so I'm sure this will be no exception. I want to be surprised with this one. I don't want to know what the short stories are, but I'm really hoping that they are ones that have not been turned into movies yet and that I haven't seen, so that I can be surprised. The last book in this category is Allie Hazelwood's Bride. I don't know much about this. I put it in the horror section because it has werewolves and vampires. However, I think that this is going to lean more fantasy. So I think it'll be a nice book to read in November. But regardless, a lot of YouTubers and Instagrammers and TikTokers have been recommending this book for the spooky season, so I thought I'd pick it up. The next category is mystery thriller, and the first book in this stack is Then She Was Gone by Lisa Jewell. I'll read a little bit about this book. It says, Ellie Mack was the perfect daughter, and then she was gone. 10 years after Ellie's disappearance, her mother, Laurel Mack, is trying to put her life back together when she meets an unexpectedly charming man in a cafe. Before she knows it, she's meeting Floyd's daughter, and his youngest, Poppy, takes Laurel's breath away because the eerily precocious Poppy is the spitting image of Ellie. And now the unanswered questions she tried so hard to put to rest begin haunting Laurel anew. Where did Ellie go? Did she run away from her home, as the police have long suspected, or does something more sinister happen? A haunting page-turner of sheer perfection. I'm really excited to read this. I've been reading a lot of mystery thriller lately, and they just keep me excited to read. So I'm hoping that this one is one that continues that trend. The next book is by Frida McFadden. It is The Boyfriend. I just finished reading The Teacher and I enjoyed that. So I thought I'd give this one a try. This is about Sydney Shaw, who is a single woman in New York. She's got terrible luck with dating, it sounds like, and she ends up getting a new boyfriend in this book, and he's charming and handsome and works as a doctor at a local hospital, and he sweeps her off her feet. There is apparently a serial killer on the loose, and Sydney is starting to feel as maybe the man of her dreams, her new boyfriend, might be the serial killer. That's what I gather from the back of the book. So hopefully this is a good one and better than some of the reviews I've been seeing about this book. They have been pretty mixed. So fingers crossed with this one. The last book in this category is The Only One Left by Riley Sager. And I really don't know much about this. I do know, however, that at one point it was in my wish list. And when I was looking for books on my wish list at Target that were on sale, part of the promotion, I saw this one, so I picked it up. The only thing is my husband said that he read this and he said I should have just got it for free on Libby. And he usually only says that if it's something he didn't enjoy reading. So I'm hoping he's wrong and that I really like it. I'll read a little bit about what's on the back. It says, at 17, Lenora Hope hung her sister with the rope. Now reduced to a schoolyard chant, the Hope family's murder shocked the Maine coast one bloody night in 1929. While most people assume 17-year-old Lenora was responsible, the police were never able to prove it. Other than her denial after the killing, she has never publicly spoken about that night and has not set foot outside of Hope Inn, the cliffside mansion where the massacre occurred. It is now 1983, and home health aide Kit McDeary arrives at the decaying Hope Inn to care for Lenora after her previous nurse fled in the middle of the night. In her 70s and confined to a wheelchair, Lenora was rendered mute by a series of strokes and can only communicate with Kit by tapping out sentences on an old typewriter. Oh my God, that's creepy already. I don't want to read any more on the back of this because I feel like it's giving a little bit too much away, but I'm excited to read this. It actually seems like a spook fest and I'm here for it. The last category is fantasy, and I have 4 books here, 2 of which go together. I have books 1 and book 2 here of One Dark Window. So this one is One Dark Window and 2 is Twisted Crowns. I don't know much about this other than that the main character in the story is supposed to have a monster inside her head, which definitely intrigued me. And I think that there is a romance that happens in this book as well. So I'm eager to read these. These have very good reviews. So fingers crossed they are worth the time that's going to go into reading these thicker books. The next book I'm really excited about, this is The House in the Cerulean Sea by TJ Klune. I was excited about this book just because I loved the cover art. Look at how gorgeous this is. It's so pretty. I'm really hoping that the story is as good as the cover. This one follows Lunas Baker. Lunas Baker is a by-the-book caseworker in the Department of Charge of Magical Youth. At 40, he lives in a tiny house with a devious cat and his old records for company. But his quiet life is about to change. Lunas is summoned by an extremely upper management and given a curious and highly classified assignment. Travel to an orphanage on a distant island and determine whether 6 dangerous magical children are so dangerous. In fact, they're likely to bring him about the end of days. This is going to be interesting. I'm excited. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. And I can't wait to see how this turns out. The last book that I have to share with you is Sarah J. Maas's Thorn of Glass. I am going to actually be reading this with my friend Sally. We are actually finishing up the A Court of Thorns and Roses series. I believe we just finished book 4. So as soon as we're done with that one, we're going to move into this one. And I just got the first book because the first time around, I bought the entire complete series on my Kindle. I don't recommend that you do that with any series of books because what Kindle does is group them up so that it ends up looking like one long book. Now, it's harder to find the different books when you do it that way. So, I mean, you can find the table of contents and then select the chapter and all of that, but it's kind of a headache. And I prefer my books to be separated. So if you do plan on reading series books on your Kindle, consider buying one at a time so that they're separated and not lumped into one book. Anyway, That being said, this time around I bought a paper copy book, and so this is a paperback. I'll read the back. It says, "In a land without magic, an assassin is summoned to the castle. She has no love for the vicious king who rules his throne of glass, but she has not come to kill him. She has come to win her freedom. If she defeats the 23 murderers, thieves, and warriors in a competition, she will be released from prison to serve as the king's companion." I'm really excited to read this. It should be really good. That concludes my book haul. That was 13 total books that I shared with you today. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please do give me a thumbs up. And if you haven't already, please do subscribe to my channel. I hope you have a fantastic day and a wonderful week. Talk to you soon. Bye.